the Avengers, the plan and the power. And in this corner, Hercules versus the deadly, dynamic Dragon Man. The mighty Avengers. The plan and the power. Seldom have things looked darker for the mighty Avengers. Goliath and the Wasp are captives of Diablo. Captain America's whereabouts are unknown. And back in their magnificent Midtown mansion, but let's hear Hawkeye tell it in his own inimitable way. I've had it with this free-loadin' folk hero, Pietro. While we try to map out a battle plan, he sits around calmly gulping down our groceries. Hercules is our guest, my friend. He has no obligations towards Hank and Jan as we do. Still, my brother, Hawkeye, is partly right. Surely even an exiled Olympian must have feelings. Thou speakest truly, fair Wanda. Verily, no mortal shall brave greater peril to rescue Goliath than shall the son of Zeus. Yet, against that hour, I do find these earthly grapes most pleasant. Their taste is not unlike that of divine ambrosia. Stan Lee edits and otherwise embellishes. A Roy Thomas and John Buscema climactic culmination of cooperative creativity. Inked by George Bell. Lettered by Art Simek. Avengers Assemblers First Class. Don't be fooled by this relatively quiet splash panel. Tiger, there's action aplenty inside. But don't take our word for it. See for yourself. You may be great shakes up in Olympus, Whiskers Butt. When it comes to being a man, you've still got a lot to learn. I know not why thou dost bait me, thou bellicose bowman. But stand thee warned. The patience of Hercules is not as limitless as his strength. Stop! Stop it, both of you! 2 Avengers, and perhaps the entire world, are menaced by Diablo and the monstrous Dragon Man that he controls. We must learn what Diablo's plan is, and we can't do that if we quarrel among ourselves. Okay, so I've got a big mouth. It just bugs me to see him taking the whole thing so calm, that's all. We must not judge Hercules by our own standards, Hawkeye. Now, come, why do you both not apologize? The son of Zeus shall consider the matter forgotten. I can do no more for man or immortal. It is beneath the dignity that befits a god to accept or proffer apologies, damsel. Then it is settled. I am no longer needed here. Yet, how much longer can Wanda and I hold together the tumultuous Hercules and Hawkeye, who grieves for the treacherous Black Widow? If only we could contact the Fantastic Four to learn the exact location of Diablo's former castle in Transylvania. But when I called them before, a recorded message told me they were on vacation. Some vacation? They were almost destroyed by the Sentry Sinister in FF number 64. Sarcastic, Stan. I must reach them, for they were the first to battle the dread Dragon Man. Perhaps they have returned by now. This is Quicksilver of the Avengers calling Mr. Fantastic. The transceiver is being activated. Someone is responding. Moments later, Pietro hears the voice of the leader of the most famous fighting team of all. So, Henry Pym took my advice and gained custody of the dormant Dragon Man. But now you say Diablo has revived him and you need help in finding the two of them? Sheesh, How could anybody lose that overgrown goony bird? Quiet, Ben. This is serious. Remember, Diablo is the supreme alchemist, a centuries-old madman bent on world conquest. And if he's regained his hold on Dragon Man... All right, already. You don't have to draw me a roadmap, Stretcho. However, that is just what we need. Richard's a verbal map of where Diablo's original stronghold was located. For we believe he may have returned there, and we mean to pursue him. You've got him, mister. One set of coordinates coming up. At this point, Frantic One, we'll spare you the boring details of latitude and longitude, and, incidentally, avoid getting a nasty note from the Transylvania Chamber of Commerce and skip to... Are you ready to depart, my sister? Yes, but what of Hercules? Who needs him? If he wants to stay here and daydream about days of yore, I say let him. Hercules chooses to ignore thine ill-humoured jibes, mortal. Yet I have pledged my help to a friend of Thor, and my word is e'er my bond. I shall accompany thee. Thus, within minutes... I do not understand, Pietro, why the Fantastic Four do not join in the search for their old foe. Indeed, Wonder Reed Richards offered me their aid. But Diablo holds 2 Avengers, and it is by Avengers that they should be rescued. You know, Whitey, sometimes I think you're not as square as you sound. And now we must shift our attention to a certain mountaintop in Transylvania. Ah, Goliath, I see you have awakened. Welcome to the rebuilt castle of Diablo, destined master of the earth. Rebuilt, may we add, by the Transylvanian Castle Construction Union, local number 829 Stan, the working man's friend. But what say we go inside for a closer look, O seeker of knowledge, and learn just why Diablo is so fanatically confident? While everyone thought me dead, I returned here to prepare for my ultimate victory. Behold, Avenger, the sight which shall force an entire planet to grovel at my feet. You mean Dragon Man? He's powerful, almost indestructible. Yet even he couldn't. Wait, I just noticed. He's so still, so unmoving. What in? You begin to glimpse the truth, fool. The gargantuan figure before you is not the creature you fought. Now turn and look behind you. Behind me? Then, as the slightly groggy giant whirls, he sees... Yes, Goliath, I have readied a virtual army of dragon men, each equal to the first in all ways but one. They do not live, because my mystic, life-giving potions were lost in a whirlpool. Obviously, he's referring to the cataclysmic climax of FF number 35. Stool Pigeon Stan. Working alone, it would have taken me months to have replenished my supply of those potions. But not now, for I have gained a most valuable assistant. The greatest biochemist on Earth, Henry Pym. What? Me help you run that through one more time? Mister, after they scrape you up. Stop, you blundering clod. Unhand me at once. Or you'll never see Janet Van Dyne again. Jan. Where is she, Diablo? Talk before I... Go ahead, Goliath. Do to me what you will. But remember, the death of your beloved wasp shall then be your own doing and will haunt you until you die. Ah, I seem to have hit a responsive chord. Your grip loosens. You falter. Just answer my question. What have you done to her? Put me down, fool, and I shall show you on my view screen. And, a few moments later, a startled Goliath suddenly sees Jan bound in a cave. And she's being menaced by Dragon Man, the real one. You are correct on 2 out of 3, my friend. She is merely being guarded by Dragon Man for the present. But unless he receives a special signal from me at regular intervals, he is ordered to destroy her. Now, do you agree to serve me? Speak. I've got no choice. You've got me over a barrel, and you know it. Okay, Diablo, you just bought yourself one oversized biochemist, but on one condition. No, Pym, there will be no conditions. The lovely wasp remains as she is until I decree otherwise. You have wasted enough time with your empty threats. You will set to work on my potions without delay. 'Tis Diablo who commands you, brute begin. However, even as Goliath reluctantly complies, we turn our rapt attention to a vehicle zooming high above the Carpathians. Well, lady, what do you see on that opti-scanner gizmo? Is it picking up a focus on Hank and Jan, or ain't it? An image is forming. Now it's still vague. Wait, there's the wasp. But what be yon lumbering beast beside her? It's Dragon Man. He seems to be standing guard over Jan. If Whiskers back there had answered Hank's SOS with the rest of us, he wouldn't have to ask nutty questions. Please, Hawkeye, there is no time for bitter recriminations. Their location must be directly below us. Hercules stayed at home last-ish, remember? Guess who? Next, after a lightning-fast consultation is held on board the aerocar, then it's agreed. One of us tackles that economy-size sparrow, while the others keep searching for Hank and Diablo. Aye, and the son of Zeus claims the Dragon Man for himself. I wondered when you'd start pulling your weight, Harky. Congrats! One titanic tussle coming up. Thus, scant seconds later. I wonder, should we let a non-Avenger take such a deadly risk? Who can refuse Hercules, my sister? Besides, only his raw power might prevail against the android. Then, the Lion of Olympus drops onto a jutting, wind-swept crag, and the sleek craft above speeds off. In sooth, I care but little for the glory of closing in combat with the one yclept Dragon Man. The battle crown of Hercules doth already proclaim victories beyond counting. Yet my heart is stirred by pangs of pity for the lovely wasp. For, of all the Avengers, 'tis she who hath most befriended me. But now I must needs find her and her cyclopean captor. Ha! I spy an opening in the rocks yonder. Truly, I do suspect that the moment of truth is now at hand. But, regretfully, we must postpone that fateful moment for a remarkably short distance away. That castle, it's not listed on our newest charts. And only a worker of miracles could have built such a massive structure overnight. Personally, anybody who could bring Dragon Man to life is a miracle worker first class in old Hawkeye's book.
Hey, dig me. I'm starting to sound like Diablo's press agent. Just the same, anybody wanna bet that his butler is a dead ringer for Boris Karloff? The following microsecond. Yeesh, looks like somebody doesn't want me to collect. Whoever he is, he must not know about my low boiling point. Come to think of it, half the crumbs we fight act like they never heard of me.
Could be I'm the one that needs a press agent, or else a gimmick.
Maybe I should paint all my arrows one color or something. Oh, well. By the way, I forgot to tell you. That grenade arrow is supposed to blast open the door. What a gnaw! It collapsed like matchsticks.
They just don't build haunted castles like they used to.
Must you treat everything lightly, even so vital a mission as this? Listen, Lady Nobody accuses Hawkeye of not taking his vengeance seriously. And no one did, my friend. Hurry, both of you. I can run no more slowly. Moving swiftly, the trio reach their enemy's inner sanctum, only to face a most unexpected roadblock. Hold it, Avengers. This is as far as you go. Anybody who threatens Diablo has to tangle with Goliath first. Have you popped your ever-lovin' cork man mountain? Gangway, 'cause we're comin' through. Pietro Hank protects our foe. It can only be because Jan is being held hostage. And we dare not shout to him of Hercules' mission for fear that Diablo may cause its failure. Perhaps I can get past Goliath and capture Diablo. However, maybe I can't match your speed, Pietro. But I've been an Avenger long enough to outguess you and block you. As for you, Eagle Eyes, you need a little reminder of my power. Missed, but I think you get the general idea. He's pulling his punches, I know it. But he still means business. Now get this and get it good. I'm not letting anything happen to Jan, no matter what. So, clear out of here while you still can, or I'm tearing into you. Tear away, big man. I'm trembling in my quiver. All right, Avengers, you asked for it. And I'm gonna see you get it. Yet, even as Henry Pym faces his fellow Avengers to save his beloved Wasp, he cannot know that another powerful form has undertaken the same task not far away. My path doth take me beneath the earth and over pools of seething lava. 'Tis like unto the Stygian depths of fiery Hades. Then, suddenly, with a matchless fury born of its myriad encounters with the hated human race, the Dragon Man strikes. By the dread darts of Apollo! So enwrapped was I in my thoughtful reverie that I did forget my mission. Yet 'twill take more than the sweep of a tail to vanquish Hercules. Hercules, who hath felled the many-headed Hydra, who did once defeat death itself in fearsome combat. And now, once more, a fight for the highest stakes of all, a mortal life. Therefore, have at thee, thou brainless, belligerent brute. Wonder beyond wonders, the beast is but stunned by the blows of the peerless Prince of Power. Truly, he doth awaken within me the thirst for the heady nectar of battle. But 'tis a struggle for another hour, even another aeon. For, behind him, I do behold the fettered form of the Wasp, her whom I have come to rescue. To strive for striving's sake, while she be thus chained, would besmirch mine honour. Thus a lifeless boulder must needs end this struggle.
'Tis a pity thou canst not speak, else thou couldst have spared thyself by abject surrender.
And, as writhing swirls of smoke and dust hide the dragon man from view, naught that lives could have survived such a fearful pummeling. Mine ordained task is fulfilled. The wasp is saved. But, alas, the good right arm of Hercules is perhaps a bit stronger than his eyesight. For, as he disdainfully turns his back, you guessed it, pussycat, by the zestful zither of Z-E-U. And, on that rousing note, we now momentarily take our leave of a somewhat shaken Olympian and switch our scene to a certain base in the Far East, where... Oh, what happened? Now I remember. I was bombarded by living nightmares as the first human victim of the secret weapon known as the Psychotron. Somehow, Colonel Ling knew that I was acting as a spy for S.H.I.E.L.D. But how? So, wretched one, you awaken then. Hear my words. Tell me all you know of the operations of S.H.I.E.L.D., or be placed once more under the influence of the dread Psychotron. No, you wouldn't. It's too horrible, too inhuman. Ah, I see you exhibit all the reactions we had expected, including that of stark, unreasoning fear. Thus, surely you will cooperate with us, for a second exposure to the Psychotron could result in nothing for you but death. I shall, my Colonel. Let me only collect my thoughts a moment. Excellent. I'll leave you for a minute, then for, you know, the penalty if you try to flee. But as soon as the sneering officer has left the darkened chamber, he believes that my will is broken. Good. Now, I must put the second part of Nick Fury's plan into operation without delay. If I fail, if I fall, the free world may well fall with me. Then, without a second's hesitation, the girl who was once America's greatest foe makes her break for freedom. So far, so good. Colonel Ling left my room unguarded because he was so certain of my terror of the Psychotron. And, well, he might be, once it is operative over long distances, it would dwarf the hydrogen missile as a weapon of total warfare. Therefore, but wait. 2 soldiers, and they have seen me. Look! It's the Black Widow. She risks her life to escape. Then let her lose that life. But before the trigger-happy guard can fire, here, fool, feel the power of the Black Widow's bite. Nothing must interfere with my vital mission. Nothing. Next, as the second uniformed enemy aims his pistol, there, now nothing bars my way, thus, it spoke too soon. 6 more guards have heard the struggle and rush towards me. Capture her alive! Colonel Ling has commanded us. Then, can no one stop that traitorous she-devil? It is not I who am the traitor, but Colonel Ling who is the enemy, not only of America, but also of his own nation, of humanity itself. Such a dread creation as the Psychotron must not exist. It must be, it will be destroyed. However, the beauteous Natasha might be somewhat less optimistic about the outcome if she knew that at this precise instant, her every action is being carefully monitored. So, Dr. Yen, this is the end result of the long years, the countless millions which have been given to your research. In its very first test on a human being, the psychotron fails. No, it isn't possible. There must be some other explanation for her swift recovery. We must capture her and find out what went wrong. Fortunately for you, my dear doctor, that is still a simple matter. Then, at the merest touch of a nearby switch, the costumed girl finds herself in a sealed chamber as the leering face of the murderous Colonel Ying appears on a view screen above her. You are a fool, my dear Black Widow, to think that you could deceive your former associates. We, who are the true masters of deceit. It was a trap. Ling was observing me all the time. The room is filling with some sort of gas, putting me to sleep. Can't stay awake. And half a world away, at that same moment, give or take a microsecond, I'm warning all of you for the last time. Nothing gets through this corridor, not while Goliath is still alive. I evaded his blow, but only by inches. In his fear for the safety of the wasp, he moves like a man possessed. Suddenly, the giant form whirls about, and thought I could sneak past him while he went after Pietro. I should have used a blast arrow on you while I had a chance, you crummy turncoat. Okay, Hawkeye, you've had it. I'm gonna make you eat those words, little man.
Hank, stop. You must listen.
I dare not use my hex power while they are so close together. Any charge I hurl at Goliath might harm Hawkeye more. If you're gonna try to talk me into turning against Diablo, forget it. Sure, it's a lot easier to turn against your old friends and the world. Don't, Hawkeye. We must make Goliath listen to reason. You think you're protecting the wasp, yet, even now, Hercules is battling Dragon Man for her life. Then, as long as the Olympian holds out, Diablo has no power to hurt Jan. Yes, and the Prince of Power never tires. So, what are we waiting for? Let's move. Thus, as the mighty Avengers are united once more. You changed sides awful easy, Man Mountain. What gives? I had a plan of my own, Avenger. Though it might have meant Jan's death and my own, I had decided to sabotage Diablo's scheme to bring an army of dragon men to life. But now the fat's in the fire anyway, so look. It's Diablo. He's seen us. I have done much more than merely see you, you blundering behemoth. I have prepared for you by adjusting my dynadisc so that it creates an invisible, impenetrable barrier between us. He's right, even my great speed won't take me through. Stand aside, all of you. Only my strength might have a chance. You've got one try, high pockets. Then old Hawkeye's gonna let fly with his heavy artillery. It's no use. Even Hercules couldn't dent this energy shield. Just the same, seein' is believin'. Let me lay a blast arrow on it. Meanwhile, we can be glad that Jan is probably safe by now. Ha! Did you think me unaware that you have sent the Prince of Power after her? Electronic spies in the cave warned me the moment Hercules set foot in it. I signaled Dragon Man so that he might have the advantage of surprise. Furthermore, with one pull of a lever, I can explode the cave from here.
You're bluffing. That would also destroy Dragon Man.
Fool! Dragon Man cannot be harmed by an explosion.
But your precious wasp, perhaps even Hercules can.
And now, watch in helplessness from beyond my invisible barrier as I show you what it means to defy Diablo. First, the wasp dies.
Then I shall deal with that hand it can't be.
Correction, mister, it most definitely is. And are you ever gonna regret it?
It's Cap. None other. Glad to see somebody still remembers me.
Captain America, but you joined forces with the Red Skull. You're a proven traitor.
That's what you get for not listening to the 11th hour news, fella.
If you did, you'd know I was fully cleared while you were heisting Dragon Man. Please do not strike me again.
I am yours to command.
Okay then, my command is to get up and order your dragon crony to stop fighting. The two events happened simultaneously last month, but Cap's fellow assemblers have been too busy to notice.
Synchronizing.
Mercy-mongering clod! You gave me a chance to aim my irresistible Dynadisc.
WH. You were ready for me. You didn't really expect to take me by surprise, did you? After all, I've been in the superhero game a long time. But I detect my avenging buddies getting a bit impatient on the other side of your little force field. So I'd better end this fracas right away, like this.
Then, dragging the crumpled form of Diablo, the star-spangled sentinel exits from the lab.
Great going, Cap. We saw the whole fight from behind this barrier. Yeah, but how'd you know where we were? You forget there's a homing beam in all our aero cars. The one on yours led me straight here. Now, let's see if this little gadget works in reverse. Moments later, as the force field dissipates. Stand aside, Cap. I've got to get to a view screen and see if Jan's okay. Sorry, Avenger Diablo's wild potshots wrecked it. Then I'm heading for that cave, alone or... We're all with you, big man. Meanwhile, it's been some time since we left the much lionized Lion of Olympus. Let's see how he fared from Dragon Man's sneak attack these many pages ago, shall we? Thou hast sealed thy fate, mute monstrosity. Not Zeus himself would have dared to strike the Prince of Power from behind. The next instant, as if to graphically underscore the point, be thou flesh and blood, or the demoniacal creation of maddened mankind. Thou shalt not avail against a scion of the gods. 'Tis passing strange, my blows can fell my fearsome foe. Yet such is his staggering power that he doth ever rise again. Thus the answer to my dilemma doth present itself. The brain of Hercules must defeat what mere brawn cannot. So speaking, the mighty Olympian hurls his huge antagonist against the cavern wall. Then, as the tireless android returns to the fray, now attack thou abhorred imitation of life. The son of Zeus awaits thine onslaught. Ah, the enraged beast leaps at me.
'Tis as I had hoped.
Victory now is truly mine. The following second, his own irresistible momentum, aided by the pounding fist of Hercules, Dragon Man plummets into the seething, all but forgotten lava below,
where he is lost from mortal and immortal sight. Surely, even such as he shall not survive yon fiery tomb. Yet I feel strangely sorry for him. He was only Diablo's helpless tool. Janet Van Dyne, I thank Zeus for thy safety, but how? The noise overcame the sedative I was under, and I shrank out of my chains. By the way, since you saved my life, you can call me Jan.
Come, there shall be a time for talk anon.
Now we must needs join the others. And, now that we've filled you in on the immediate past, what say we skip to the present, as, Hercules, what are you doing? I do detect the voices of thine Avenger friends beyond this wall.
Thus, since no door be near at hand,
it's Hercules and Jan's with him. We didn't even have a chance to go after them. I knew that muscle-bound hunk of legend would come through. Knew it! Ah, the parted lovers are reunited. 'Tis ever this that doth please Hercules best. You and me both, friend Jan. Honey, I was so afraid that. Just hold me, you big galoot, and don't say anything. I feel like a first-class louse.
Jan just escaped death, and suddenly all I can think of is Natasha.
Then the varying reveries of the moment are interrupted. Don't forget, there's still the little matter of these bogus dragon men to take care of. In other words, I've rigged this place to blow up in about 30 seconds. So, let's move 'em, kiddies, fast. Swiftly, with scarcely a wasted motion, the mighty Avengers board their speedy arrow car, and... There she blows! You were 2 seconds slow, Cap. Partner, if I ever say that again, just wash my mouth out with soap. Like you always used to say, Hawkeye, maybe I'm just getting old. Then, the unbearable tension of the past few hours ended. There is a fleeting moment for a lighter mood. Our reluctant guest doesn't seem too happy, Hank. He's probably thinking of what it'll be like to spend several centuries in prison. Well, it couldn't happen to a more deserving guy. Hercules doth echo the wasp's sentiments. Still, it's a pity the Dragon Man could not be saved for scientific study. Thou shalt soon enow forget such sombre thoughts, beauteous wonder. That is, if thou wilt dine with me this evening. But such respite is ever short-lived, and soon, as the Avengers gather for post-mortems... What did you just say, Avenger? Read that dispatch again, slow. According to this, the Black Widow is a prisoner behind the bamboo curtain. Her captors claim she was working as an agent for S.H.I.E.L.D. If that's true, we've got to act. We must rescue her somehow. No, I'm the guy who loves her, who should have believed in her no matter what. So now, I'm the Joe that's gotta get her out of there or die trying. And I've got to do it my way. Next-ish. The most unexpected foe of all. Colour him the Red Guardian.
Next issue. The Avengers, number 43.